Hi fellas, Knife back here again, and I've got another inbox review for you. And today we've got something rather special. We have got Arma Hobbies Hurricane Mark 2C in 148 flavour. Now, we've been waiting around for this aircraft to, or this model should I say, to come out for absolutely ages. It's one of those where they could have released it maybe a year ago, even 6 months ago, but they wanted to make sure it was absolutely perfect. The 2C, okay, it's the one with the cannons on, and this one we've got the drop tanks on there as well. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you on the overhead and we'll get cracking. So, normal Arma Hobbies bigger kit box, okay, a box within a box, and on the back you have got some of the colour call-outs, which we'll go into in a minute. Okay, so what do you get in the box? Well, you get a set of maths, some clear sprues, some grey plastic, and the instructions. And within the instructions we have the decals, which I'll just put over there, and a add-on bit which we'll look at in a minute. So we'll go cracking with the instructions. So as you can see, we've got a bit, I believe, that's in Polish. I'm not 100% certain though, okay? And a bit that's in English talking about it. We've got our sprue map and the colours in the actual FS colours, which is great. Then we've got Attacker, AK, Life Colour, Ammo, Humboldt, Vallejo and Tamiya colours. Okay, all the way across. We open it up. And you can see straight away you've got a little bit that tells you about the fuel tanks and the bombs, which bits you needed for this bit, and it says auxiliary tanks only for painting option 1. So when we go to the back, we'll have a look at the painting, and the only one that wants the actual fuel tanks is 1. Okay, we then move on to the undercarriage. So we've got the main wheel bay, okay, made up of a few parts. So front bulkhead with a canister on there. Then we've got, let's have a look, side bulkheads. Moving on to the rear bulkhead and the roof of the wheel bay, and then the wheel bay all together with the a bit of a piping going in there. We then would come across to the seat. So the main seat, the bulletproof plate at the back. Again, another part where we have to remove it or leave it. Okay, make new hole for a new position. Colour red, the old one, colour blue, fill in and remove. Okay, we then go putting the wheel bay into the upper wing there. And then we put on sandwiching the wings with the lights in there. And that's where it pulls it across to this bit, where it tells you to remove a bit to help those landing lights go in. Okay, and we'll just have a quick look at this bit to remove that bit if you want to have closed canopy. Moving on to the actual floor of the cockpit. So we've got where the pilot's feet will see, and the very nice tubing that goes in there for the actual cockpit strengthening. Moving on to the wheels, putting some other bits and bobs in there, as you can see. Moving on to the control stick, and it all tells you very, very well where things are located. Really clear drawings as we're going through, before and after, as you can see just here. Then on to the dashboard, we've put a decal on, the compass, and adding the compass to the sidewall. All the different parts for the sidewall going together. Before then we put the two fuselage halves together to then mount it all together to make the main airframe. We then move on to the belly radiator and adding a part of the lower fuselage. So I reckon they're doing this so later down the line they can release earlier versions, because some earlier versions didn't have that fin on, and also the Sea Hurricane. We have the tail and the control surfaces going together, the tail fin, the tail wheels, main wheels, and onto the undercarriage of this aircraft. Before then, we move on to another part that's either for a certain part, a certain marking option, going on to the heads-up sort of display for the marksman, for the pilot, should I say, and then putting the different types of cannon in there. Then moving on to the propeller. Okay, there looks like there are two different types of propeller in the kit, and also two different types of canopy for close and open. And then we move on to the drop tanks and the bombs, and adding those to the aircraft. Before we move on to the different markings, so this one is a night fighter, a night intruder from number 1 Squadron, 1942. Pilot is Flight Lieutenant Carol Kultwasser. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. Then we have number 257 Squadron, RAF Cottesall, May 1941. Pilot is Squadron Leader Robert Stanford. Okay, so he's got the DSO, DFC, and 2 bars of the AFC. And then the final one is from number 309 Squadron, from July 1944. So some really nice markings there. Actually like this one, where it looks like it's been scraped or something like that, and they've got a light colour under there, so that'd be really an interesting looking markings. We'll do the decals first because that's where they are. They're on the top. So decals look okay. They are printed by TechMod, so this shouldn't be too bad at all. They all look actually really nice. Okay. Then move on to the grey plastic. Okay, so I'll just put that there. And we'll start with one of the main parts. So on here we have our cannons, and we have our upper and lower wing. Okay, it's the plastics, fairly soft, okay, fairly flexible. Okay, looking at the cannons, okay, so you can see some really nice detail on there, on that one for the two types. The only downside is that you will have to drill out the end of the cannons yourself. Then we move on to the upper surfaces. So we have raised and recessed rivets. So I don't know what it's like on the real aircraft, but back here, all the way on the back, that is all raised back there, and then front, that's recessed. All on the leading edges, that's all recessed, and then we have the same back here, raised and recessed all the way along. Moving on to the lower wing, exactly the same thing. Near the front leading edges, it's all recessed, and along the rear, it's all raised. Some nice strengthening bars here, okay, some nice panel lines. The panel lines look nice and refined, all fairly even all the way over, okay, with lots of little strengthening bars within the actual wing itself. We then move on to the second sprue. Okay, so we've got a tail. We have one of the fuselage rear floor, okay, and then we've got some of the control surfaces. So starting with the instrument panel, really nice detail, the armor plating, the exhaust, which again would need drilling out, not an issue to do. Really nice texture on the control surfaces, some nice raised details on there, some nice recessed detail. Then we move on to the bottom, the roof of the undercarriage bay just there, and again some nice detail in there on the roof of it. The part that's part of the bulk, one of the bulkheads, again some nice recessed detail on there. These tubular frame for the actual cockpit are really well done. Okay, this is absolutely brilliant molding, and as you can see, we've actually got on the wheels the manufacturer of the actual tires. So Dunlop on here, and with the either it'd be a serial number or it'll be a part number or something like that. Okay, moving on to the fuselage. Okay, so fuselage again, it's got raised detail where the rivets are, and recessed detail also with the panel lines. Okay, some really nice texture on the actual rear fuselage. Okay, no deformations, no sink marks, and there we are. Look, we've got a bit to make this into a tropical version. Okay, I can't remember seeing that on the instructions. Okay, so they are probably going to be fetching out later versions of the sorry, I should say earlier versions on this with a tropical filter. The radiator, the belly radiator is just there. The sidewalls on the inside look rather nice. Okay, so overall really nice part. And then we've got the other exhaust stacks there with the prop and the two different prop covers. Onto the clear parts. Okay, so this is the last sprue, and they are crystal clear. Really nice. So that's Arma Hobbies 1/48 Hurricane Mark II-C. Now, we have been waiting a while for this kit come out, and to be brutally honest, I think it's worth it. Now, this kit is quite expensive for what it is. So you're talking £40 for a 48th kit, okay, with 3 grey sprues. Okay, so it's not the cheapest kit, but you do get a higher level of detail than anything that's out at the moment that's a Hurricane. Okay, other than Arma Hobbies 172nd one. So in 1/48, there's nothing on the market like this one at the moment, and I really can't wait to build it. I can't wait to give it a go. So this might actually move to the top of my build list, so watch this space. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.